bit excited today, a little bit nervous. This is my first time trading on TradingView as well as YouTube and as well as Twitch. We've got 3 streams heading at the same time, so there's a lot going on. And sorry if I fumbled around for my first couple of streams, just trying to get this all connected and working. But TradingView was just a little bit different to the other platforms. If you are watching me on TradingView, welcome. My name's Chris. I am Obi-Wan Assassin. I am one of the students at the Onyx trading training platform, and I use supply and demand trading using smart money concepts. And I've been doing this now for 6 to 9 months, give or take, after many failings to learn how to trade. So this is how I trade. This is how our coach likes us to trade, or teaches us to trade. And if you want to join us, you can let me know. My email is right over here. Just shoot me an email and I will get you in touch with that coach and you can join the platform with us. We have hundreds of people in our Discord and we share charts every day. Like, we live and breathe charts. This is what we do. We love TA, we love charts, we love trading. And if you're watching this, I bet you do too. So I'm stoked to be on TradingView. I don't know why I never thought to stream on TradingView before. I just realized they had streaming. So hopefully there'll be a few people diving in to have a watch. Hello, Perfect Money, it's Pat. How's it going? Nice to see you. I've got like 2 chat windows I'm going to have to monitor. I've got Twitch and I've got TradingView over here. I'm not looking at the YouTube TradingView, but if you're watching on any of these platforms, if you're watching on YouTube, I'd love a like, love a comment, and love a subscription. If you're watching on Twitch, you don't need to subscribe. This content is free. I mean, I'm just showing you my journey and my wins and my losses and how I'm learning to be a better trader. You don't need to subscribe. You can't yet. I need 1 more follower before we get Twitch subscriptions, but I'd love a follow. And if you're watching on TradingView, thanks. This is my first time, and hopefully this gets a few views, and hopefully this continues to grow. For me, this channel, I mean, it started with nothing, and it's been growing this whole time. The bad news is, though, guys, there's some bad news. Moving over from TradingView, my old account, I couldn't change the name, so I had to start a brand new TradingView account. And that meant none of my charts have followed through, so a lot of what we're going to be doing over the next few streams will be just recharting stuff that I had from my old account into my new account. And I guess we'll share those charts and those ideas and start getting more social with my charts on TradingView. So what I want to do is I'll share my screen in just a second. We're going to have to go through my list of cryptos. There's like, I don't know, about 50 or so cryptos that I follow that we're going to need to chart. But we'll start with Bitcoin, hey. And we all know that we've had this massive rally in Bitcoin. I'll share my screen so we can take a look. Get to my charts. 1 second. Kind of exciting to do it all from scratch. Oh man, it's been so long since I've used basic TradingView. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Everything was always set up the way I wanted it to be. Oh, 1 minute. Gotta get out of all my sensitive screens, which is all my password screens and account screens, and get out of that. Alright, give me 1 second and we'll share. Okay. Alright. Share my screen. Hopefully that was it. That was it. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is Bitcoin. And it's been an exciting couple of weeks, hasn't it? Had a massive rally in Bitcoin, all the way up through resistance to this new high level, and it came out of nowhere, surprised everybody. And we've all been asking, all the way up here, everyone's been asking, when is it going to turn? Well, we've had a lot of rallies back and forth at this level here, and we can see here we have had what we can see as a swing failure. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos lately, the past couple of days, especially today, telling us that there is a reasonable likelihood that we could see Bitcoin turn around from here. We could see a retracement happening. While this signal is bullish, we could see retracements. So where could we see retracements to? Well, I've lost all my favorite tools too. Damn you, TradingView. Now obviously we're looking at the daily. You just have to watch me fumble around while I try and relearn where I put everything, all my favorite tools. Need a new toolbar too. There we go, my rectangle. Alright. Given that we have this high level of resistance here. Now for me, I always like to do my resistance and my support levels in blue. Now we look at the daily here. I like to work at a higher time frame and work my way down. It's the best way of doing things. That way we know that these marks that I'm putting on the charts here are a high time frame mark. Really important to know your high time frame support and resistance levels and your high time frame order blocks. Those are so important. Those are the most important thing. Coming up with a system that you like, that makes sense for you when you're doing your charts, that is the most important part of this. Alright. Now, this level marries up somewhat with this level here. It's not quite the same, but it is the freshest supply and demand level that we've had. So we leave that there. Alright. If this support here breaks, which I think it's going to, I think it's pretty clear that we're going to break the support. We're going to be retesting these zones down here. The question will be, when we do retest these levels down here, will we quickly have a reaction going up for new higher highs, or are we going to come back down here and test these lower levels? I don't know for sure, but we have seen a very keen rally all the way up, and I'd love to see that continue. I think a lot of people would love to see that continue. So I'm hoping that the price will come down here and we can retrace down here and then see a big reaction come up. So that's what I'm hoping for. Now, as for finding out where we could get in on some trades, well, that's where I like the 4 hour. I love to use 4 hour OBs. I did some experimenting at the start of last month with lower level time frame order blocks, and honestly, it didn't work out well for me. It didn't work out well at all. While I do like to trade on the 15-minute and the 1 hour chart, from now on, I'm going to do what I do best, which is really sticking to finding those trades that marry up with the 4 hour order blocks. I am the order block assassin, and 4 hour order blocks are the ones that I like. So looking at the chart that we've been in, looking at the price structure that we've been in for the past, what's this, the past week or two, we can see, when did this start? January 23rd. What is it? It's been 3 weeks. This order block here, and I'm gonna mark this out. For me, I like my order blocks to be purple. Why? They're just easy to read. No reason. Alright, so taking the last candle, the last decent candle, before a big break in structure. Now, clearly we've had a break in structure from here. And for those watching at home who aren't familiar with what a break in structure looks like, that. And I'm going to do this in yellow because that's what I'm used to. You know, like thick lines. That is a break in structure. That's a typical break in structure. Candles came up, broke free of the previous structure to the left here, and it had a nice big reaction. So that means there's an order block down here which probably have an equal or hopefully bigger reaction. And you can see the prices come down, taking liquidity from the order blocks. Now, what are order blocks? They're essentially just a long queue of orders that have happened in the system. Now, who makes these long queues of orders? We suspect that's where smart money are going to make these orders, causing the price to rise above resistance and skyrocket. So these zones here are pure liquidity, and over time, stops get put into these zones. As these prices come down and rebound off them, stops get put in here, even more liquidity. And liquidity hunting is what we're really doing with supply and demand trading. We're just looking for the liquidity. We follow the liquidity because that's where the prices are most likely to rebound, and if not rebound, we know the price is going to go through there. So if we know that smart money, people with big wallet sizes, people who are like hedge funds, retail investors, and they're not necessarily good at their jobs either. There's some that are brilliant, there's some that are terrible. Just look at FTX. But we do know that they play with large orders of wallets, and they have the ability to move the candles, unlike the rest of us. We have no ability to move these candles. So we're looking for the biggest ones of them, the biggest moves up, and we are mapping where the liquidity is to tell us where to put our orders. Now, this particular order block, I did have a really lovely trade here the other week. I went all the way to the top. It was very, very nice. but that was the third time that this zone had been hit. And then we hit it again down here just ever slightly, but we rebounded and made a new high. Fantastic. But as you can see, the price is now back here and we are struggling. I'm expecting to see the price come into this order block here and start forming structure in here. Now, if you start forming structure inside of an order block, especially a 4-hour order block, from experience, it usually means the order block liquidity has dried up. And the more times an order block gets hit, generally speaking, unless we're talking a really bullish situation, the more times the order block gets hit, more chance it has of all the liquidity getting drained, and we'll be off to be finding new structure down here. And that's what I'm expecting. So I am looking to take shorts on Bitcoin. All right, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for shorts. So what would I be looking for? Okay, well, actually, I'll show you what I was looking for on ETH on my other account. This was the ETH trade that I wanted to get into last night. But you can see here, it didn't quite come up into the order block I was targeting enough of that trade to get triggered in. If I had been watching my computer at the time, which we sometimes do, I would have seen the price struggle to get through in here, up into my order block, come back down. That would have been the key for me to jump in on this at a lower price. If you're doing supply and demand trading, you can absolutely jump in. You can jump in as long as you are doing a risk-defined entry, meaning you know exactly how much you're going to have on your stop loss based on your results. But, well, what do we call this thing? Our trading journal, which tells us what we should be risking and what we should not be risking. So I like to risk on, depending on the risk factor of the trade, anywhere between 1% and 3% of my general account size. And given that this was at the top of the ETH structure and it had it correlated with a high level of resistance, it was an order block within this zone, this would have been a 3 out of 3 trade for me, meaning a 3% trade. If it was if it was not trading at the top of the structure, perhaps I would do a 2% or 1% trade, just depending on what I deem as the risk factor. And that's how we do a risk-defined entry. So back to Bitcoin, see if I can finish off this chart. Let's identify some 4-hour order blocks that might be worth putting a trade on. So we're looking for the last up candle before a break-in structure. We did have a break-in structure right here with a big up candle right there. That would be an ideal candidate for us. And we can use our fib. Oh, I just remembered my fib's not going to be set up the way I like it. Yuck. That's alright. I'll make do with a rainbow colored fib. It's actually quite nice, to be honest. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a retracement from the bottom here to the top of the structure. And it looks different. Hold on. I know it's not different, but it looks different. Okay, that's better. All right. So from the top to the bottom, with our supply and demand trading that we practice in Onyx, we like to look for a 60 to 70% retracement. So this zone here is in that 60 to 70% retracement, this order block here. You can see this order block has been slightly tapped into. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't think I need the backgrounds, to be honest. That's better. A bit better. Still a bit messy, but a bit better. Looking for something, an order block in the 60% retracement, which we have. So this marries up with a couple of ideas. And we're looking to take this down. So can we get... I wish I had my toolbar, because now I have to go to the long menu to find everything. Nope, that's a long, I need a short. Now, if you guys have any questions, if you do have any coins that you want TA done on, hit me up. If you want to see my past trades, just let me know. You can chat to me on TradingView. You can chat to me on YouTube. You can chat to me on Twitch. Just let me know what you want to see. Now, we need to get a minimum 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. That's what we're going for here. And we can get a 3 on this. I can probably tweak it to slightly get us an easy 3. So this gives us a 3, and this is going to make sure that even if we bounce off the bottom here, we should get a reasonable trade in here. we should be able to at least take some profits off this one. All right. That's a high level one. Now we know that what we're aiming for is a 60% retracement here. If the price does come into here, that'd be lovely, but it may not. We may have already lost an opportunity. The other area that we could be looking at would be this one right here. Not quite the same trade, because the price doesn't have to come up far enough to trigger this one in. So this is more of a scalp. Cool. This is more of a scalp. Oh, sorry, my phone's going off. All these Twitch notifications. And TradingView notifications. Fantastic. Alright. So because this one in this level here isn't a big enough retracement, it is a bit of a scalp. We may not get this one. Now, if the price does get triggered into this one, there is a possibility that this one could have the price come up into this structure here. So if I'm going to take this trade here, it's going to be at a risk level, a higher risk level. Sorry, not a lower risk level. It's going to be a higher risk level. So we'll take a short. Now, at the moment, these are just trading ideas. There are two ways we can go about playing these. All right, so it's a 3.6 to 1. That's nice. That's nice. There's a few ways we can go about actually implementing these ideas. If I'm busy, which I'm probably going to be busy in an hour or so, I may not be around in time for these trades to watch as the price comes into the zone to find my entry. Now, just because I have these ideas up here doesn't mean I automatically put them into Bybit, which is my favorite trading platform. Instead of doing that, the best thing to do, in my experience, is just to wait, just to watch the price action. Because what we are looking for, I can draw it in. Where is the plot path? Here we go. We are looking for the price to come into this zone, rally or react. So hopefully rally a little bit, then react. And once we had that initial reaction, we go, yep, okay, that was a good zone. We put our trade on. Price comes back in, takes it, and then takes it to where we want to go. That's essentially the action that we're looking for. But we're not always around. I'm not always around. So if I'm not going to be around, I really have to ask myself, is this a trade I want to be in? Is my stop in an area where, if I'm wrong, if the price actually goes through my stop, was the whole trade wrong? Because it has to be. Your stop has to be in a place where, if you're wrong, then you were completely wrong about your trade. You do not want to be in a situation where price comes in, wicks you out, and then takes you down, because that's what all the retailers are doing. We don't trade as retailers. We're trying not to. We're trying to catch the waves created by the whales. So I can see in this one, I could probably, and this is where you gotta weigh up. How important is it for me to be in this trade? Do I need to get in, or can I put my entry point way up here? Try and get a much better entry and a much better risk to reward. Because I don't like to play with my stops. Now, this particular trade here has a stop loss ratio of 0.92. In my experience, it's very small. It's a very small percentage. So if I'm not going to be here to look at this trade, I really want to give myself a much bigger stop. 1.3 seems nice. And for this particular one, if the price came in and I was wrong on this order block, then I would pick it up for my second trade up here. And the other thing to keep in mind too is both of these trades combined, really at a high level, combined into one. So this trade here, I might have 1% risk on, and this trade here I could have 2 or 3% risk, but I've got to remember in my mind, if I put these trades on, I am adding more to my risk. Alright, I'm always thinking, how much risk should I be doing? And I shouldn't be risking more than 3%, right? So both of these combined shouldn't be more than 3%. There's no point having two orders if they're both 2% risk, because that's 4%. That's way too much risk. So if I'm going to do 1% on this one here should be 2%. Logically. I would think. Alright, so that's my Bitcoin chart at 4 hours. If you come down here into the 1 hour, I haven't had a lot of luck, or I wouldn't call it luck, but I haven't had a lot of great responses. I haven't made a lot of money is what I'm trying to say from my 1 hour scalping. So that's one of the skills that I'm personally working on.
which is why I'm scalping for the 4-hour order blocks. Now that they're on my chart here, I can see when the price does come up into here, this is a good zone to find that scalp. And if it does come up to here, which is very unlikely, but strange things have happened, this is the next zone where I'm looking for my scalp. I have my big picture idea here. My big picture idea, I would love to be in both of these trades. But when the price comes up, if I'm at my desk, that's where my scalp will come in. All right, so that's Bitcoin. Let's add ETH. Now all of my charts are looking at the Bybit data. I'm looking at the USTD perpetual charts. That's where I like to trade. And if you like our amazing Google Excel sheet here, this is incredible. This has really made trading so much easier. If you like this, you can get this for free. You just need to join us in the Onyx Trading. Become a member. If you want to become a member, just email me. Email address is right there right now. Just email me, we'll get you in. Hundreds of us in this crew. Look at this. This is the crew where we are. All right, and look at this. We got trade entries, trade analyses. We got resources. We have a brand new, incredible looking spreadsheet. I'll show you that one here. Look at this. This is an actual spreadsheet. This is the next version of our trading spreadsheet, created for us by our coach. I'm gonna test this out actually. And to get this particular spreadsheet, I've already gotten it here. Just need to be a member. That's all. So this is it here. I haven't used this one yet, but this looks so sick. That looks incredible. I can't believe someone did this in Excel. Apparently we got a master Excel god to create these for us. So, well, instructions needs to be written in English. I'm not sure what's up with that, but this is the first version. So I'm going to be using this later on this week. I'm going to have a deep dive into it and see exactly what it does and how to use it. At the moment, I'm using my online sheet, but also, okay, ETH. I get sidetracked. ETH. These are all the coins that we're going to have to go through and rechart into my new TradingView account. So ETH on Bybit. Let's do that. Alrighty, looking at the daily, we have clearly broken this structure here. That's fantastic. Well done, ETH. Broken it twice. So even highs, even a slightly higher high, we are clearly struggling to break free of it from this now. We've got clustered order blocks, which usually means, in my view, it's time to do some restructuring. It's cool. You're going to hit. Oh, nice. Thanks, Perfect Money. Yeah, I'll look forward to your email and I'll get you in touch with our coach. Apparently, he's building a sign up page for me. I'm just waiting for that to happen. Yeah, I'm in the Gold Coast, and I'll be streaming most days on here, which is great. If you're watching on Twitch and wondering who I'm talking to, we've got a live chat over on TradingView.com, so you can join us there if you like, or you can stay on Twitch, watch me on YouTube, whatever. But this is what we do. We just do charts all day and make money, and kick ourselves for missing out on trades. But in terms of the Onyx crew, yeah, this is fantastic. Like we post our entries, we post our mistakes, we congratulate each other, and we look at each other, and then we share our results. Now, the cool thing about the results part of our Discord here is there is essentially infinite opportunity for you to look at all of these results and go back and rechart these on your chart and learn yourself in your own time. Because that's what it's all about: time in front of the charts and time learning. And now I'm no pro at this, but I did make a ton of money, so I did quite well for myself, and I'm looking to expand that further and just continue getting better and better and better, which you do not get better unless you're making mistakes. And if you're making mistakes, you need to have that coach and you need to have that community behind you to show you the mistakes and to show you how to get better. And that's where Onyx comes in. So if you want to join us, let us know. Shoot me an email. and I'll hook you up. All right, now for ETH. Given that we think that we're going to start retracing, we'll be looking for shorts. Now, one of the things that I love about retail trading is, and my crew knows that I do this all the time, and I talk about this all the time, trend lines. I love trend lines. Not because it tells me where to get in on a trade. No, not at all. Trend lines are what retail traders use to jump in on a trade and go long or short. It shows us that there's liquidity. That's why I love it. Where's my dollar sign? Here we go. Liquidity. We got liquidity here. Liquidity here. Liquidity here. And it's all going to get taken. We don't have liquidity here yet. It's all going to get taken. These are what we call trapped longs. People who wanted to go long and the price hasn't quite done that for them, and now they're trapped. They're just sitting in here in no man's land, just waiting for a decent price. They could take a profit right now, but they won't. They won't, right? I mean, how many times have you been in a trade and been getting, it's up 50%. You made 20, 30 bucks, maybe 100 bucks. And you could take profits, but it's not where you want it to be yet. You haven't reached that peak. You haven't, even when you have reached the peak, even when your trade's up $200 or $300, you haven't taken those profits yet. We always say in Onyx, if once you've gotten to that 2-3 times your profit margin, you take even profits and you set your break-even point. So you take your profits regularly. And you need to be taking your profits. Anyway, we have all these trapped longs. There's going to be a point where the price comes down to pick those all up, and we'll be looking to retrace. Now for ETH, the retrace point that I'd be looking at potentially might be a breaker block. Where are we? I've got to make a new toolbar because I can't find any of my favorite tools. I'm going to keep saying that until I make a toolbar. Where are we? I don't want text. I don't want that. I need a box. Give me a box. There we go. Okay. The breaker would be right here, right? Last up candle before a down candle, leaving supply. This is a supply zone. It's a large. Oh, this is a daily supply zone too. I'll probably go one step lower, and I'll be looking at the 4 hours for an entry point there. To be honest, I mean that is a nice big. We'll keep that there. There's a big supply. There was a big supply. So when you had a place in the past that became a supply zone, this was supply, and then we traded back up through that, invalidating the supply zone. This now becomes a breaker block, which could indicate a good place for resistance. So if you look for the 4 hour, there's a few places here we could be looking. I can see right here, this zone, this whole area here, this is going to be, the price is going to come down to here. It's going to play around here for a while. It may even bounce off it. This is one place you may want to look. We could see a reaction up here. There is definitely a demand zone. People wanting to buy at this price. The question will be if this demand zone is going to hold. Okay, that's the question. Now I can't answer that because to me it looks like this, and look, we can even drill this down further now. We're at the 4 hour chart, and we have a very nice, well, it's a massive candle there and a big candle here right before the break, and this marries up to support and resistance line here and here. So this ticks a couple of boxes. It's within a big daily demand zone, breaker block now. It's at a key point of support and resistance from the past, right here. 2, support and resistance back here. So that's 3. That's 3 out of 3. This is a pretty good place. This is probably where I'll be looking to take a long in the future. As for what ETH will do now, well, we were at the top of the structure, so I'd be hoping to find, and this is another technique that I like to do, guys. Grabbing your ruler from the top of the structure to the bottom of the structure, grabbing your line tool and drawing a line through the middle here. Alright, this tells us, it doesn't tell us anything, but it helps us visualize premium prices in a structure versus discounted prices. Now if I'm going to be taking a long, a short, I'm not taking a long from here. That is a key question you need to ask yourself too. Before you put any trade on, should I be taking a long? And the answer to this is probably not from here. We have had swing failure, and we have a lot of people talking about retracement. I have a feeling that this may be the area that we retrace from. So I'd like to take a short on the top of the structure here. This candle here, this green candle here, was a order block from this breaking structure right here. So we break this structure right here. And we have another order block right here. Within this order block, there's a second order block. So it's not fresh. Not a fresh zone. We break structure there. So we have two order blocks. And the big one has already had liquidity taken from it by this candle right here. This wick that came up into here, took that liquidity and dropped. So what does that mean? It could mean next time we hit this zone here, maybe the candle will go a bit higher and I can pick up a trade in this higher order block right here. I'd like that. I'd like that a lot. But it could also mean that we don't get that at all. And that this candle here is the second entry point for a lower level, but we're coming up into that. We're already trading into that right now, so I don't think that 4-hour order block here is even valid. I really don't. I think price is going to have to come up. I think it's going to have to take liquidity from here. And in fact, that's the order block there I'd be looking at. We nearly touched it before. We nearly touched it. I'd be hoping to get in on a rally. So I'd be looking for the candle to come up, and I will take a short. There we go, take a short from here. Oh man, if you guys ever want a challenge, start a new TradingView account. nothing you remember will be where you put it. Alright, now we want a nice big stop loss. I don't like stop losses under 1%, personally. Your stop loss needs to be big enough to cover enough chart that you're not going to get wigged out by just some decent price action, right? This is a 3.3 trade. Now, this trade is good. I could put this on. I like it. In fact, this trade may not even get triggered. But second option here is I don't put it on it, and I wait for the price action to come up and I find a better entry. Because if you wait, if you're patient, you can find better entries for sure. Just depends on how busy you are today. Just going to have two tabs open. So we've got my Bitcoin chart and my ETH chart here. All right. What's next? I can't stream for too long today. And it's only been 35 minutes. But my wife wants me to come with her for a short drive, so I can't stream for too much longer. This stream was just me wanting to get all my ducks in a row, get everything lined up, and get TradingView working. Now, let me have a look in Bybit. GMT. So I got GMT, ETH, DYD, and Bitcoin. Well, I'm going to cancel all these anyway, but we're going to have a look at GMT and DYD. Just cancelling those because I haven't had a chance this morning to reevaluate my thoughts from yesterday. They can often change. So add DYD, and then the other one that we're going to be adding was GMT. Some of the biggest traded currencies at the moment that I've been watching. Okay, GMT. You can see here we've got lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower lows forming. So GMT is looking ripe for the taking. And this is on the 4-hour chart as well. So we did break structure. We are looking for the high time frame lower high. So we've had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. But on the low time frame, we're looking bearish. And it looks like we might actually form a lower high on the higher time frame. So where could we take this from? On the daily, we can see a few different places. there's a daily zone here. It's been tapped into. And a slightly below daily zone there that hasn't been tapped into. So I've got a fresh order block right there. Let's drill down to the 4 hour and see what's inside those areas. Alright, we have a order block right here within a daily. A 4 hour order block just there within the daily. Now that would be great. Hasn't been tapped into, or has, it's been tapped into once. As soon as it was formed, liquidity was taken, price went down. Now, I've got another 4 hour order block right here. And this one is within the daily zone as well. So this is a fresh order block. Now why isn't this one in the middle counted? Well, we do have a price structure there. It was a candle, but looking at the daily zone here, it was more of a bit of a rally here rather than actually a fresh new level. Having said that, on the 4 hour chart, it does definitely look like a supply zone, doesn't it? And it looks to me like a clustered 4 hour order block. So it's definitely worth charting. Because if I do take a trade inside this lower order block, my stop is going to need to have to cover both these areas. So it's important to keep those in mind. What will I be doing? We want to do a short. Oops, that's a long. I want to do a short, and because I've got this clustered zone up here, what I find is when we have clustered order blocks, we usually end up wicking into the top one anyway. So not only does your stop need to be big enough to take into account the high that was formed up here, if you really want in, you're going to have to choose, do you want in on this one, or can you be greedy and come in on this one here? Hard to say which one's going to get triggered. So on this case, I'm going to keep this as the idea. And I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch price come up. I'm going to see where it plays. Because there's two different trades here with vastly different outcomes. The stop doesn't really change. But the entry point changes the trade a lot. If I wanted to make sure that I was in on this trade and still safe, I could put this one into Bybit and call it a day. Or I could just wait to see the price action and maybe do something more like this, depending on what we see. So I got to keep that in mind. Now looking at DYD, and just so you guys know, I have no idea about these coins at all. I don't follow the news of coins that often. There's a few YouTubers that I do watch who do talk about, Ethereum and whatnot. And I don't put too much into it because I'm not trading here on the idea that technology will bring these coins to a new high or anything like that. I am trading on the data that we have on the charts. That's all I'm interested in. Now for DYD, we didn't quite reach the top here that I predicted. I thought we were going to go and test the top here, and we got far into it, but we didn't test the top. Didn't quite get there. And we have had what looks like a swing failure on the daily. On the 4 hours, we've had, I guess you could say, lower highs forming. It's not the cleanest structure. Now let's look for some order blocks here on the 4 hour. We have a key level of resistance up here and an order block sitting right here. How do we know it's here? Well, we broke structure right here. Oh, any chance I can look at Ocean USD? Oh yeah, sure thing, man. Sorry, I thought you meant Oceana and you were trading USD. Yeah, no worries, man. I'll take a look at that next. I'll squeeze it in. Sorry, misunderstanding. All right. DYD order block over here has been tapped into one time, and we've had a reaction off that. We're almost tapping into it again. I think we're going to hit that. I think that'd be a great place to take a short. I do need to say at this point, I am not a financial advisor, and if you follow me for tips on what trades to put on, you are probably in an undoing of your own doing. Because I'm here to teach you how to learn supply and demand, not necessarily to show you the trades that I make, which may or may not be profitable. All right, that's something I'll be looking at there. Now let's look at Ocean. Where's Ocean traded, by the way? Ah, Bybit. All right. Before I, oops, get on there. Get on there. Before I do look at this chart, I just want to check how much Ocean is trading. If we're using smart money concepts, we need to make sure that the volume is up there. Now that's 32 million. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. It's not in the higher end, so we're in the top 20-ish. So you could still trade Ocean, yeah, that'll work. Just be careful. Just be careful with lower volume trades. The reason is it can be harder to get out of them when you need to. But 20 million is fine. That should be reasonably fine. All right, so fairly new, March 22. This has been around for a year and a year nearly. We've seen an initial high. This is a very common crypto type of thing here when new coins come in. Demand dries up, and we see this steady decline. Now similar to Bitcoin, we had that slow stepping nature in the price action, and I like it because it's kind of broken structure here, which is fantastic. All right, looking at that's the daily there too. Wow. Did you tap in along on that? Hopefully you got along. All right, where's this going? Well, let's go into the 4 hour. Let's take a look. This price structure is extremely bullish. Now, this is the interesting thing. When you're looking at different coins, not all coins follow Bitcoin and Ethereum perfectly, or even close. Some of them are complete opposites, even though price action has familiarities. And this is one of those cases. Price action does have familiarities. We've had a slight increase. If we put it up against the 4 hour chart of Bitcoin versus the 4 hour chart of Ocean, similar, except in this big bit of price action here, it's gone higher. Whereas for Bitcoin, had a big bit of price action here, and it stayed within its price structure. This is an interesting coin. I like it. All right, we have key levels of resistance here, and here and here. So we need to start mapping some of this out. Where is my... It's hard with newer coins because there's not a lot of previous data. I will say that. And this coin doesn't seem to be sticking to its previous data that well. That seems like a key level of support and resistance, and we seem to be currently in this kind of support resistance zone there. Now these are not order blocks. I'm just going to label these blue. And blue. Blue for me means support and resistance zones. Now if we break free of this one, pretty clear we're going to be heading towards hopefully testing up here. Be great. It does have a zone here that it's going to need to get through. So price will come up and struggle in that zone there. It'll rally in that zone, which is fine. And you can see it's going to rally in this zone too. If it's going to turn around, it will probably be here, because it is in that support and resistance zone. And if it does turn around, it's probably going to turn around here, test here, and then go lower. How far lower? I'd say maybe here. We do have a key level here. It doesn't quite match that level. It does a little bit. So those are the key levels that I can see. Now, well, in terms of order blocks, it's such a zippy little coin, isn't it? You're nervous about the previous price structure and resistance? Yeah, me too on this one. This is an interesting one. Really interesting one. There's no price action that I can see here that would indicate for me to go short. I mean, other than the fact, and this is the thing that you've got to remember. Look at that. Look at that. That's disgusting. So what does that tell me? We have stops. We got like mega stops. It stops sitting all the way down here. That to me means danger. So while you might be going long, this is the bit to watch out for, because when smart money comes in on this coin, smart money will be taking those long stops, and they could continue going higher. It'd be interesting to see how this coin reacts if Bitcoin, which we are expecting, people are saying Bitcoin, this may be the top here. We may start to see lower prices, get a retracement. It'd be interesting to see Ocean, how it reacts to that, because it's looking extremely bullish, but all those stops there are just waiting to get taken. Just waiting. I personally wouldn't be trading this coin at the moment unless I had got along here, because that would have been a perfect opportunity to get along. There were many opportunities on this chart since February 23 to go along. Many opportunities. I'd be taking profits already because of this resistance zone right here. There's not a lot of price action that we can really use to figure out if we want to go short, because everything's looking very bullish. Yeah. But this one in particular, I'm not really putting my hand up to jump in. But it is an opportunity. Look, I'd be looking at the top here. I'd be watching this area here for some price action that tells us the direction that's going to head. To me, it looks bullish, but the market in general right now seems to be slightly bearish. Okay, so the market might be heading one way. This coin looks like it's heading that way. Yeah, no problem, mate. No problem at all. Ideally, for this one, I personally think we might see. Where are my tools? Where is my plot? It looks to me like we're going to see this price action in here. I actually think we're going to struggle to get past this area, because this is a key support and resistance zone. I think price action is going to take those stops, maybe even come back up, and then I think it's going to go lower and it's going to take those stops. That's what I think. I think these stops are just waiting to get taken. We could see that when Bitcoin does fall, all of a sudden this comes down and takes all of those stops, and we've had a very big reaction. A very big reaction. So where I'd like to take a long from might be here. Cool coin. Thank you for sharing that. It's very cool. That, to me, it's an untapped, fresh, well, it's not fresh, but it's an order block within a previous supply and demand structure here. So, sorry, support and resistance structure. I think the price could come down to here and come back up. In terms of where you could take short from, I don't see any bearish order blocks to use for shorts, so that's a problem. That's probably why I wouldn't be doing it, just because I can't see the bearish structure to take a short from. But I mean, you could from here though, couldn't you? What am I saying? What am I talking about? Price break structure from here. And if I'm going to take an order block, it's going to be from the whole entire structure. Oh man. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, this is what I would actually be doing on this coin, if it was me. And it is me. What am I talking about? Of course it's me. Alright, in this zone here that we're currently in, this is an order block within a supply and resistance zone. It's a 4-hour order block. Watch this price action over the next day, over this next 6 to 8 hours. Because the price action will hopefully do something. Look, it's coming up into here. I think we're going to struggle. Somewhere in here we're going to struggle. Alright? And you're going to do this for a little while. We may peek out to take those stops. Don't jump in yet. Just watch. Watch it struggle. And if the price jumps up, if it does that, well, we've got ourselves another rally going on. Okay? And you can jump in on the price if you want to do that. Okay? If the price doesn't do that, price rallies in here a little bit, and we see a break, a nice clean break to the downside, put your trade in here. Put your short in here because price will probably retrace, retest, take your short, and we go down. That's what I would be doing. So watch this zone. This is the key zone here. You can see why price continued to rally up because it didn't have, other than here, which this is a weird structure here, but there's not a lot of key support and resistance in the history here to make this a key level, but it's busted right through there. That's the level here I'd be looking at. Hope that helps. Alright guys, that's it for me today. I might be back on later, but I gotta go with my wife and go do what we need to do. So I may be on later, I may not be. If you don't see me, you'll see me tomorrow. Take it easy guys.